These numbers are from the Department of Corrections. It's a 2018 breakdown of inmates in Arkansas according to race. The Arkansas Advisory Committee hosted this forum to better learn how state and local policies may contribute to the disparities in Arkansas's prison system. One Fayetteville resident says she wants others to understand how mass incarceration affects more than just the people who are behind bars.
Because mass incarceration affects all of us, and it doesn't just begin when folks are adults. It actually begins when folks are children. A lot of times trauma is introduced into someone's lives, and it actually embeds in our DNA and forever alters our person. A lot of times mental disease comes out of this, addiction.
She says what starts in juvenile court then leads them to adult courts.
Then suddenly, we're jailing a large amount of our citizens for things that are really need restorative care, things like addiction, mental illness, things that erosion of family units have caused people to reach out and do other things.
Moore says she's hoping to see prison reform in Arkansas's future. Madeline Porta from Fayetteville agrees. She's a former public defender in New York, and she says across the U.S., most public defenders' offices are poorly funded.
Adequate funding of the public defender's office is a huge issue.
Porta says that's where the system breaks down and adds to the increased incarceration rates. From her experience, she says there are better approaches than just building more jails.
See the impact of incarceration on not only the person who is incarcerated, on their families, their friends, their loved ones, and also on our entire community.
Allison Wise, 4029 News.
And the committee has also heard testimony from public officials and people who've been in prison. Their findings will be presented in an official report to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights. Well, now to the dangerous substance found in the hands of high schoolers. Police say that several high school students in Arkansas went to the hospital after vaping the e-liquids Galaxy Additive and Kentucky Route Strawberry Fields. State Crime Lab results show that these e-liquids are structurally similar to the synthetic cannabinoids K2 or Spice. Experts say that they're extremely dangerous. They also say symptoms include rapid heart rates, vomiting, or being rendered unconscious.
Kids and teenagers think it's safe because it's being sold in a convenience store, but you don't know what's in it and you don't know what concentration level it's at.
Well, no student deaths have been reported. The Crime Lab is asking police for more samples to test. A father facing several charges tonight accused of shooting his son during a domestic dispute. Pea Ridge police say that 59-year-old Benjamin Castone Jr. used a .38 caliber revolver to shoot his son. His son was then taken to a Bentonville hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Castone was arrested on suspicion of aggravated assault on a family member and domestic battery in the first degree. In Arkansas, a woman on trial accused of murdering her husband over porn. Prosecutors on Monday told jurors that Patricia Hill of Pine Bluff flew into a rage last summer and then shot her husband after seeing a pornography channel added to their satellite TV bill for a second time. Today, Hill took the stand, telling the jury that she was not thinking when she shot at her husband and didn't know that she would kill him. Patricia Hill is facing life in prison if convicted. It's now up to a jury to decide. In Bentonville, city leaders are preparing for a big move. Tonight, the city council approved an ordinance to upgrade and eliminate certain positions within the planning department. There will now be a community relations and community development director. They've also added a building inspector position. Mayor Stephanie Orman says that this will help the departments when they move into a new building.
It all kind of works together, getting the planning department set with the correct positions and the number of positions and being able to move everybody in conjunction. All kind of works together to provide, again, we want to do that one-stop shop with planning. We're also transitioning, moving City Hall into planning and planning into Public Works.
Well, the Bentonville City Council also approved a resolution supporting a private ownership model for a city animal shelter. Arkansas officials say that Czech gun manufacturer will open its North American headquarters in Little Rock. Today, we know Governor Asa Hutchinson and Little Rock Mayor Frank Scott announced that they will set up shop in the States, in the capital there, and will hire about 565 employees. They also say the gun company will invest up to $90 million over 6 years to build and staff that facility. And a Hard Rock Casino and Hotel could open in Arkansas. It would be located in Pope County, according to an announcement from Warner Gaming. Arkansas voters approved adding 4 casino gaming licenses back in November. Warner Gaming is filing its application in May. The University of Arkansas at Little Rock is now planning to cut millions of dollars from its budget. Chancellor Andrew Rogerson says that the university is bracing for an estimated $12 million shortfall for the 2020 fiscal year. Rogerson says that UALR is making less revenue because of depreciation of campus buildings and a drop in student enrollment. The overall budget is about $160 million.
They sound like a scary number, but we're business as usual, and we'll come out of this slightly leaner and stronger.
The Board of Trustees will decide on the final amount. Rogerson says that performing a potential hiring freeze or slightly raising student fees could counterbalance the loss. And Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt signing legislation to prevent cities and towns from imposing a fee on single-use plastic and paper bags. Governor Stitt signed the bill into law today after it received final passage in the Oklahoma legislature earlier this month. The measure also applies to cups, packages, containers, and bottles made of cloth paper, plastic, and glass. The Boy Scouts of America is accused of having a so-called perversion file holding the names of thousands of volunteers accused of sexually assaulting children. Tonight, ABC's Marcy Gonzalez explains these findings.
A bombshell allegation against the Boy Scouts of America. Attorneys claiming more than 7,800 perpetrators the Boy Scouts believe were involved in sexually abusing a child served as scout leaders or volunteered with the organization in other capacities. The names of those alleged predators from the past 8 decades who were then removed from eligibility to serve with the Scouts were reportedly kept in so-called perversion files, along with documentation of more than 12,000 alleged instances of sexual abuse.
The data starts in 1944, and they've had this information and have not protected the children which they are to serve. They have protected the pedophiles among their ranks.
Attorneys in New York and New Jersey now revealing the names of 180 alleged abusers for the first time. As the Boy Scouts of America tells ABC News in a statement, we care deeply about all victims of child sex abuse and sincerely apologize to anyone who was harmed during their time in scouting. Every instance of suspected abuse is reported to law enforcement. Attorneys representing some of the victims say that is far from enough.
They may have removed them from scouting, but they never alerted the community that this teacher, this coach, this scout leader, who is also a priest or an electrician, is known to them to be a child molester.
It's still unclear whether any of the alleged abusers faced criminal charges. Attorneys here in New York are now working with some of the alleged victims to sue once a law removing the statute of limitations takes effect in August. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New York.
Well, here at home, the Children's Safety Center of Washington County is seeing an increase in children coming to the center for services. Today, there was an open house letting people in the community know how the center helps children who've been sexually abused or physically abused.
Because of confidentiality, we can't just open our doors to the community. So twice a year, we try to have an open house where people can come in, talk to our staff about what we do here, but also talk to them about child abuse prevention and ways to protect their kids.
Last year, advocates saw a 24% increase in children coming to the center for services. And April marks Child Abuse Prevention Month. So for more in-depth coverage, be here on Monday, April 29th for our Project Community Special, Preventing Child Abuse. That will air at 6:30 p.m. A new movie is in the works right here in Arkansas. David Arquette is actually best known for films like Scream and Never Been Kissed, but now he's working on a film called 12 Hour Shift. It's filming in Jonesboro. The movie follows a group of nurses in the 90s who get into organ trading on the black market. Arquette says that 12 Hour Shift is just the beginning for movies filmed here in Arkansas.
There's something called a halo effect. So when films come to a community, the restaurants start making more money, ride share services, catering, just different employment opportunities for people. We've always had a love for Arkansas and really wanted to bring movie making here.
While filming is expected to wrap up at the end of the month, they hope to enter the movie into the film festivals by August.